So, in 2014, in October 2014, I was at one of the biggest fashion concerts in the world. It's called Fashion Rocks. Okay? And I was lucky enough to be a seat warmer. Okay? And if any of you guys don't know what a seat warmer is, I was warming people's seats. Okay? So I was lucky enough to warm celebrity seats. But the great thing is, I was basically 2 rows away from the stage. Okay? So I was 2 rows away from the stage, and we're talking about artists like Usher, Pitbull, Nicki Minaj. We had J-Lo in the house. I was sitting 2 seats, well, a couple seats away from J-Lo. Okay? And she hails from Puerto Rico, correct? Yeah. Okay, so we love her, and I love her. She's from New York as well, so much respect. Okay? So I'm sitting next to J-Lo, I'm sitting next to the models, the artists, the top of the top. And I look good. Okay? No, I look good. So I look good at this time, and I got all dressed up, and this is great. Right? But I got the first seat that I was given. It was 2 rows away, and I'm sitting there. And who happens to be sitting next to me? A guy that kind of looks like a punk. Okay? He's not decked out like me. He doesn't look as good as me. Okay? And he's wearing ripped up jeans, a white shirt, and I'm just like, I paid no attention to this guy. I was like, how'd this guy even get here? I'm a seat warmer. I know how I got here. Right? But how'd this guy get here? I don't know. But after 20 minutes, I said nothing to him. And I got my seat moved. Alright? And now I'm sitting next to Naomi Campbell. You all know who Naomi Campbell is. I took a Snapchat with her. You can check my Facebook. We can be friends. Don't worry about it. Okay? So I took a Snapchat with her and all this stuff, and it was great. I was feeling on top of the world. Until I looked back at the stage, and that guy came up on stage. And he goes, "Hi, my name is Steve Madden." And I was like, I was sitting next to Steve Madden? And if you guys don't know who Steve Madden is, he probably made the shoes that you're wearing right now. Okay? Steve Madden, one of the world's leading fashion designers. Okay? And at the time, I'm working on a fashion startup. So me underestimating this guy who's not dressed up like I was. He's not a model, he doesn't look like anything. He ends up being Steve Madden. I could have pitched him on my startup. I could have said anything to him. I said nothing because I underestimated him. Now, let's take a step back. That's not the only reason why I connect, but it's one of the reasons why I will never make that mistake again, and why you should never make that mistake. But some background on me and how I even got started in all of this. About 3.5 years ago, I found myself in college studying biology, a subject that I absolutely hated. I had no interest for. But I was studying for 4 years. Why? Probably parents were telling me it's safe, cultural, this is safe, and I come from a culture that wants people to be doctors and dentists and all this stuff, whatever. So I was going to be a dentist, and I was going to be doing your teeth for the rest of my life. You guys have beautiful teeth, I'm just kidding. But I would be doing something I absolutely hated for the rest of my life. I took all the prereqs, I took the test, I studied for 3.5 months. I did all of this stuff, right, to be a dentist. To be something I really didn't want to do. All respect to dentists. But for some reason, something was wrong. This wasn't for me. I wasn't supposed to be a dentist. And to understand why it wasn't for me, we take a step back again. For me, when I was born, I had a couple of life-saving surgeries. Tons of them, right? To save my life. I'm not going to go into details and all that stuff. I'm good and I'm standing in front of you today and you're all beautiful. But it happened, right? And if any of you have ever experienced something like that, anything life-changing, anything life-saving, you've had a disease, somebody in your family, a wake-up call you've had in your life, whatever it is, you know it changes you, right? And for some reason, it gives you purpose, right? Now you're not living just for yourself. And for me, I realized I'm not just living for myself. I'm not just supposed to be comfortable on this earth. I'm not supposed to be here just to make a little bit of money and be happy and raise my kids and blah, blah, blah. I'm not supposed to have just a nice house and all this. I'm supposed to be great, and I'm supposed to change the world. Right? So that's what it did for me. It gave me a sense of purpose. I'm no longer just living for myself, I'm living for humanity in general. If you could just change the slide. What? Drink? Anyways, so I'm not alone. This man, Martin Luther King Jr., also really just gave his life to humanity, right? And one time he said, I have a dream. This man had a dream. We all know that famous speech, I have a dream. But do you know why he had that dream? It's because he lived those words. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. Now, this man lived for you and me, right? Because he believed in something more than himself. He believed in not a comfortable life. He believed in sacrifice and hope in the human race, right? He gave his life basically for this, right? So the fact that he was able to do that brings us to a question. Why do you do what you do? Why are you here? Why are you sitting here? Are you here to find knowledge about that startup? Why are you working on that startup anyway? Why are you working on that book? Why are you working to make a change? Is it for your own fame and fortune and legacy and all that stuff? Are you working to make this world a better place? So for me, as I told you, I live today. And what I've realized over this past year, since I started in entrepreneurship, is every time I gave, literally all just came back to me, right? But the important thing is, I didn't necessarily want it to. I didn't do it because that was the reason. So, we ask ourselves why we do what we do. And for me, what connecting did for me, it's more than I exchanged business cards with a bunch of people. I met 800 people over this past year. In startups, influencers. I've interviewed about 50 of them. I had video interviews with CEOs, with investors, with all these different people, with all of them. But the only reason I was ever able to do that was because I was always trying to give before I ever asked for anything. Right? We always hear about connecting. We always hear about building our networks. Your network is your net worth and all this and that, right? We always hear that, and that's great because it's true, right? Because the people we're surrounded by are the people we really are. Right? But what really happens, how you build those great networks, how you really connect, is when you give first and you forget about ever receiving. In school, you know how I got through being a bio major for 4 years? It's because I literally, people just gave me things because I initially gave them. They just wanted to return. I would have failed out easy code because I'm hated, right? But they literally saved me only because I gave them. I gave them anything that I had. I gave them anything I had. People are waiting for you to just give anything you have because it's not common. Because it doesn't happen. Because people do things usually for ulterior motives. So when they see you're genuine, when they see you're different, initially, you don't want something back, they want to give it to you back. They beg to give something to you back. So if you give 20 people, you give that one thing that you have to 20 people, how much do you receive? You receive 20 new things. But are you doing it for those 20 new things? Hell no. Because if you are, you're never getting those 20 new things back. Trust me. You're never getting them back. Now, we'll all learn about, this is great, this sounds really good, I'm excited. This guy's interviewed people. These guys are nice network. He runs investment panels. He works at an incubator. By the way, I got the job at the incubator because I just gave my time somewhere. I got it all from referral. I applied for nothing. Right? But because I gave my time to something, I sacrificed something that I had. I just had time to give someone. They gave this that. But it's great. Now, probably sure you're all thinking like, all right, how do I connect? How do I do this? What's the secret formula? What do I do? Well, I just have a couple of ways that I think we can break down this process. Perfect, thanks. So realize the power of the small fish. Okay? When we are in a networking setting, we're always thinking, who's the big person I should be? Who's that person? And I did too, right? Because I was sitting next to celebrities, I was sitting next to that love brain and all this different stuff. And I forgot about the quote-unquote small fish that I was sitting next to. Who ended up being the person that could change my life. So who are you sitting next to today that will change your life? Or you can change their life. Because once you change somebody's life, they want to go and change somebody else's life. And that's how we create that chain reaction. That's how, as millennials, we will change the world. So who are you sitting next to? Who's that person in this room that's going to change your life that you didn't meet because they don't look the part, they haven't dressed nice, they don't have the skill set I want, they're not a CEO, they're not an investor, they can't help me. So go help them. If they can't help you, go help them. So don't underestimate the small fish. Realize that power. Next. Be genuine. People connect as a hobby. People connect as a sport. People collect connections. It's like collecting Pokemon cards. I have a Charizard. I'm happy. Okay? I now know the CEO of blah blah blah. I'm really great. Right? Yeah, I say this all the time. I know this person, I know this person. I feel good about myself. But that's not what it's about. Right? The way you connect with people is by being genuine. You show them who you really are. People put on this different face every time they're talking to somebody else new. Just be you. Just say how it is. People don't like it, they don't like it. But at least they know who you are. They don't have to figure you out. I don't have to figure you out. I already have enough things to figure out. We're trying to run startups. I gotta figure you out now. We got relationships that we gotta figure out. You got a boyfriend or girlfriend that you gotta figure out. Right? I don't want to figure you out at a networking event. Just be you. Next. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. This is a Bible passage. But it really is so pertinent to what we do while we're connected. How many of us meet someone and we just go off on all our accomplishments? I'm the CEO. I'm great. I'm the best. Blah, blah, blah. And you say everything. You give out all the knowledge that you have in your mind. But you forget. Oh, by the way, what do you do? You forget that part. Or you let them talk for 2 seconds, and then you jump on it. You're like, yeah, me too. Let me tell you about all the other great things I did. Right? You do that all the time. The problem is, you already have all that knowledge that you're speaking. But you're not gaining any new knowledge by listening. Right? Because what you learn is from those people. If you go to all the events in the world and you only speak, you've gained probably nothing. Because you don't know, one, how you can help them. You don't know any of the knowledge they know. You've gained basically nothing. So, be quick to listen and slow to speak when you're at these things. Figure out who you're talking to and what they do. And seal the deal and follow up. Now, you guys are champs. I really respect all of you. This is a long day. Okay? And now, after our next talk, you can get out of here and you can just go home and you can forget about all this and you can say this was really nice. I had a lot of great talks. But that's not sealing the deal. If you don't put in the work to seal the deal with the people you met today, hey, I met you. I really like what you're doing. Let's follow up. Let's go meet. Let's talk. Let's do something. Let's partner up. Let's get coffee at least. Let's email back and forth. Let's mastermind together. If you don't do that, you've done nothing today. Right? If you don't seal the deal today, you've done nothing. Right? And then you follow up. You make sure you are in their inbox. You make sure you're on their Facebook. You make sure you're in something in their lives. You are now a figure in their life. If you do that, you will be successful. Next. That's my thing. And to close, I'm always happy to answer any questions you have. But I just want to close by asking you actually. Again, why do you do what you do? What do you want? We see time and time again. You can amass all the fortunes in the entire world. You can be rich. You can be the best actor in the world. Best actors in the world, many of them, they have so many difficulties because they forget that other part about being a human being, about living for others. Right? They who's around them. They forget who brought them to this point. So what legacy do you actually want to leave? Why are you actually doing this? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want money, fame, and fortune and die, and everybody's kind of happy you died? Or do you want love? Do you want success? Do you want to sacrifice for somebody and really know that you changed their life? Because I promise that lasts forever. Thank you.